Hey guys, get ready to rumble for passive prospecting with TikTok from my live event last week. So I had the privilege of having Christian Mortuzzo here, who over the past couple of years, he built his TikTok following up to just over 100,000 just by doing some short videos and made over 1.5 million in commissions. So before we get into that, before we jump, I'm really grateful that you guys are here. I'm grateful that you're watching this video. I'm working really hard to get good content, great content that's going to help you and other agents build your business in any type of a market. So I have a goal to hit over 1,000. Please take a couple minutes and just a minute, like and subscribe. And again, I'm really grateful for you guys to be here. So let's rock and roll. So you guys came for some social media training, and we brought the best for you. Christian Mortuzzo, what a fantastic guy. I did a webinar a few years ago on pre-construction in Toronto, and I just threw it into a Facebook post, and I had no expectations, and I just said, hey, I did, at the time it was like 300 or 360 in about a year or a year and a half. Pre-con, would anybody like me to do a webinar on it, myself and my partner? And I think it was 48 hours, 1,200 people answered it and threw their emails, and they were bugging me. I didn't take it lightly. I took 4 days to put together the slide deck, and I thought I'm gonna give them some information. And that's where Christian came from. And Christian, we became friends. He's not only probably the handsomest man in the room, but he's just a fantastic human being. So he is our TikToker. He's built up his following in the last 2 years to, I guess you're about 100,000, right? So I don't think I was lying when I said that to people. So anyways, 100,000, and you're what, 25, 26,000 on Instagram? Yeah. And he's made over 1.5 million in the last 2 years. He doesn't do any ad spend. People just contact him. And a little bit of a disaster. There's a ton of leads he doesn't even get a hold of. So maybe you want to partner with him. Anyways, please welcome Christian Mortuzzo from Toronto, Ontario. And he is going to talk about TikTok and tell you how you can do it as well.
Thanks, Mark.
You betcha, buddy.
Thank you, Mark, for the warm introduction. So I'm a little bit out of my area here, as I know that is this working?
That's okay. You keep talking.
A little bit out of my area here, as I know a lot of you, well, pretty much everyone is here is from Calgary, I would imagine, right? Yeah. Well, a few Toronto people. Okay, that's good. So how many people? Let me ask then. How many people follow? Does anyone in this room follow me on social media? Oh wow, look, that's pretty cool. We actually have some people following. That's better than I thought. So let me ask you guys this to kind of start off with. How many of you guys are newer in the real estate business? When I say newer, I mean less than 2 years. Okay, so we got some people less than 2 years here. How many of you, let's just say newer or not, are using social media in your real estate business? Like, show of hands. Okay, probably about half the room is using social media, at least to some extent, right? How many of you guys are actually getting like results out of social media? Like you're getting, people are contacting you consistently. You're getting some sort of result out of it. You're putting in the effort, but you're getting something out of it. Is that? Oh, sorry. Show of hands. Show of hands. Okay, so we got some people are getting results out of it, right? So if I'm
That's your laser and that's your up and down.
That's my up and down. Okay. All right. Thank you. So what I'm basically seeing here is that about half of you guys are actually on social media using it, but only about of that 50% of this room, only maybe like 20 or 25% is getting results, right? So as we can kind of see here, there's probably a disconnect between putting yourself out there in social media, posting, and actually getting leads and actually getting clients. Like that's basically what I've read from this room. So hopefully after this presentation, I'll be able to go through a little bit of this with you, share some ideas, and hopefully you'll get some value and insight on this. So before I get into this, I wanted to describe a little bit about who I am and how I got into real estate. So I wish I had some like crazy story, like, oh, my mom was a agent and she sold a lot of homes, or my dad was a builder, my uncle was a whatever the case in real estate. Nobody in my family is in real estate. Absolutely nobody. Like, I didn't know the first thing about real estate when I got into it. People ask me, oh, Christian, how did you get into real estate? How did you get in? Like, to be absolutely honest with all of you guys, the way I got into real estate was nothing more than intuition. I'd watch the shows on TV and be like, oh, that looks cool, and I'm currently working in finance. I hate my job. Like, this looks way more fun than working in finance and sitting at a desk every single day. So really, it was nothing more than that intuition that kind of pushed me into getting into real estate. Like, I know it's not a cool or glamorous story, but that's the truth, right? I got into real estate when I was 25 years old, knowing absolutely nothing about it. I had a degree in finance. I hated my finance job. I didn't know anything about marketing. I didn't know anything about real estate. I didn't know anything about whatever I'm doing right now. I knew nothing about it when I started, right? So I learned everything myself from scratch. And before I was 30 years old, I'm just over 30 now, in case anyone's wondering, but before I was 30 years old, I was top 30 under 30 for Century 21 Canada by GCI. And if anyone wants to look that up, you can. I never cold called or door knocked. My basic premise to selling real estate was, I don't want to sell people in a way that I don't like to be sold to. So when someone knocks on my door, when someone cold calls me, what's the first thing that everyone does when that happens to you? The sales wall's up, right? The sales wall's up. You don't trust that person. Are they trying to trick me? Like, why are they knocking on my door? What are they calling me? Like, I didn't want to be that person. So I actually never cold called or door knocked in my real estate career. I basically just started making these short form videos, and I became obsessed with making them. I ended up starting a team because I had so many leads and so many people reaching out to me that it was just overwhelming. I couldn't handle all the business myself. I ended up closing, to date, I've closed just over 1.5 million in GCI from these short videos, and I'm going to show you guys some information about how you can do that too. Before I start, if you guys do want to connect with me, Christian Martuzzo on TikTok and Instagram. I know that some of you guys already do follow me on here, which is great. I'd love to see it, but if you don't, add me on there. We'd definitely like to connect with you. So some notable stats. So before I get into the stats, kind of like Mark said, hey, these stats, the numbers might look impressive. Like, oh, I've got all these views, I've got all these likes. I'm not trying to stand up here and say, oh, I've got all these views and all these likes just because I want to make myself feel good or feel accomplished or put you guys down. Nothing like that, right? What I can tell you is all the stats, everything that's up here, most of this is what I call vanity numbers. What do I mean by vanity numbers? I mean, they look good, they look cool, they look impressive, but they don't matter that much. I remember when I first started putting these videos out, I would have video, like, look at this, the past 60 days, 2.6 million. When I first started putting these videos out, do you know what that number looked like? It was I can't even remember probably under 1,000. I was getting maybe a couple hundred views per video, and that was it, but I was still doing business from it. So the point I'm trying to make here is, even though these numbers look big, they look impressive, they look almost intimidating or scary, like you're never going to get to them, you don't need these kind of numbers to be successful on social media. They look cool, they look impressive, but that's literally all they are. So why did I start using short form videos? So basically, my idea behind this was, people are bombarded with ads. And not only bombarded with ads, but when I started out, I didn't have money to run ads. I didn't have money to run Facebook ad campaigns and Google ads and all these types of stuff, like where it costs, $10, $15 per lead, and I got to generate 100 of these leads in order to convert one of them, and blah, blah, blah. I didn't have money for that. I just quit my job. I just quit my job in finance that had not a very high salary, maybe like $55,000 or $60,000 a year, and I only worked there for 1 year. I had to pay off student debts, blah, blah, blah. I didn't have money when I got into real estate to run all that stuff, right? So I basically thought, hey, instead of running ads, I'm going to find out a way to get in front of people organically without spending money, right? Also, people have short attention spans. Like, how many of you, probably just during this presentation are pulling your phone out, you're checking Instagram, you're checking Facebook, you're probably on social media, like just in the room right now, let alone what you do in your regular everyday life. That's how you operate, but that's also how a lot of your clients operate as well, right? So I just thought, hey, if this is how people are spending their time, people are taking their phones out, they're checking their phones, they got their phones in their hand, let me check what's going on Instagram, let me check what's going on Facebook. If that's how people spend, that's how, I myself spend my time, and I know a lot of you in this room do as well. That's how I wanted to market to them, is to go where people actually spend their time and to market in a way that they were going to be receptive to, right? So let's talk about some of the reasons why a lot of you are not using short form video, right? Because it's hard. Well, actually not. There's a strategy. Pretty much anybody can do it. You don't need to be tech savvy. You don't need a lot of equipment, nothing like that. So you need lots of equipment. You don't. Actually, a lot of my videos, if any of you follow me on social media, 99% of my videos on there are filmed with nothing but my cell phone. Not even a microphone. No external lighting, no special, I actually used to make videos where I'd go to a studio and sit down and have all the lights on me and big cameras and professional editing, all that sort of stuff. I actually got rid of that. You know how I film my videos? I hold up the phone and I just start talking. That's it. You don't need special tools. You don't need, you think, oh, I got to spend all this money. I got to hire a production crew. You don't need any of that stuff. All you need is a phone and a message, and you need to get out there and say it. That's it. It's expensive. It's not. It's free. I don't run any ads. Like I have tried it in the past, and I actually prefer the leads I get a lot better off of social media than the paid ads, the paid leads that I get. It takes time, or it takes too long. Of course, it is going to take some time, but guys, I'm not asking you to make like 20 or 30-minute videos here. Most of the videos that I make are, 60, 50, 70 seconds long. That's it. You don't need to make videos longer than that. You don't need professional editing. They don't need to look cinematic. You don't need to spend money on them. And a lot of people say, hey, it's only for kids. You guys said this, 6 or 8 or 10 years ago about Facebook. And now look who's on Facebook. Kids aren't even on there anymore. Kids aren't even on Facebook anymore, and that's kind of what you said about that platform 6 to 8 or 10 years ago, right? Not only that, but I'm seeing a rapid uptick in the older demographic and older age groups jumping onto these social platforms, right? Like my friends' parents follow me on a lot of these platforms, so that just shows that that demographic is certainly getting on there. So who watches these videos? I've actually taken the screenshot just to show you guys that it's not all kids, right? So let me just show you guys really quickly here. This one is TikTok. So TikTok, we can see, is a little bit of a younger demographic. There's more people in that 18 to 24 in the 25 to 34 age group. But that is changing. I remember when I checked these stats probably about a year ago, this 35 to 44 age group, this was like 5 or 6% of my followers. Now it's 15%. So that's growing a lot. When we look at Instagram, which is right beside, we can see it's a much more mature platform. About 81% of my viewers are between 25 and 54 years old. That's 81% are within the age of being home buyers and home sellers, right? And TikTok is not far behind. Mark my words, my parents and my friends' parents and people that I know, parents, they follow me on that platform as well, so I know they're getting on there, right? The best part is we can create one video that works for both platforms. We don't need to make different videos for Instagram, different videos for TikTok. We can literally use one, as long as we create it with the intention of being a short, 60-second video, a lot of my videos, I post them in the same, I use the same video in multiple places. We repurpose that video, right, for different platforms. So let's talk a little bit about leads, right? So this is kind of how I would rank the hierarchy of leads when it comes to real estate. So I've also created this little triangle. I don't know why this thing got messed up right here. It's supposed to create a triangle. But anyways, I put trust at the top of this triangle because someone may know or like you, but unless they trust you, they're not going to do business. So I always put trust. Trust is the most important thing in real estate. They got to trust you. Knowing and liking you is great. Those are also important. They got to know who you are. But trust is the most important thing. So obviously, number one is family, friend, / personal referral. If you have a family member, a friend, a personal referral, somebody that you already know, they already know, like, and trust you. That's already built. Like they're, or it's at least built 95% of the way. Maybe you got to bring it across the finish line the other 5%, but it's pretty much already there, right? I would actually say social media lead is number 2 to friend, family, or referral because they like you enough and they trust you enough that they are proactively making the choice to reach out to you. So, know, like, and trust may not be at, 100%, but that may be built up already like 75% by the time they reach out to you, right? You just kind of bring it across the finish line. But the actual really interesting thing is by doing more social media, you're going to drive more of that number one, the family, the friend, the referral. Because where are your friends, family members, sphere of influence? Where are all of those people spending their time? They're on social media. So by doing more social media, by doing more of that number 2, not only are you going to get like the number 2, the social media leads, but you're actually going to get more of the number 1, which is the friend, the family, the referral, the leads that you probably know, like, trust, and value the most, because that's where those people are also spending their time, right? Then, of course, we can go down the totem pole here: bus, bench, flyer, paid ad. That's number 3. They might know you, but they definitely don't like you yet, and they don't trust you yet. Internet lead, Facebook ad, same sort of thing. And then cold call, door knock, manual prospecting. Again, like, if you were to assign a percentage to all these, like, maybe it would be at like 2% for trust. And you've got a huge wall to overcome there, right? And it takes a long time. So that's why I personally focus just on the number 1 and 2, the social media leads and the friends, the family, and the referral, right? So what can I expect from these leads? They're all going to be warm leads. They're all reaching out to you. They're all making the conscious choice and conscious decision that they want to reach out and work with you. Of course, you do have to qualify them just like any other lead source. Oh, did you get your pre-approval? When are you looking to buy? What's your timeline? Blah, blah, blah. Any of those standard questions are still going to pertain to these leads just like any single other one, right? But the great thing is that even if some of these leads do not qualify, like, oh, hey, I don't qualify for a loan. My team actually just picked up a over $2 million listing last month from a lead that initially didn't qualify, and that lead referred me to their parents who needed to sell a home. So even though that initial lead didn't qualify, I had built up such a good relationship and such a good reputation through my social media presence that lead actually referred me to their parents, and that was a over $2 million listing that I got. Downsized, they ended up buying $1.4 million buy as well. So that just shows the power of the relationships that you're building here, right? Shows the level of trust that you already have when these people reach out to you. You don't have to close them like a typical lead. You don't need some fancy sales script. By the time they reach out to you, they pretty much have already decided that they want to work with you. So here's a couple of lead examples just to show you guys what some of them look like. No matter what you're looking for, whether you want pre-construction buyers, move up, buy and sell, multi-buy, ran into somebody who him and his 2 friends all wanted to buy units, sold 3 units to them. Investors, seller, this was a different listing that came up. This is a $2.6 million brand new listing just outside of Toronto. So yeah, as I said, you might think that, oh, these are only kids, these are only buyer leads. Not necessarily. I've formed relationships and have gotten leads of all different calibers, whether they're sellers, investors, multi-buy, pre-construction. Those, depending on what kind of content you put out there, and we're going to talk about that a little bit later, you can get all kinds of different leads. They're not just all low-quality tire kickers like some of you might have presumed when you came in here, right? So let me talk a little bit about the problem of cold calling, door knocking, Facebook ads, manual prospecting, all the stuff that I didn't like to do. The reason I don't like to do it is it's not scalable. You're basically trading your time or your money for leads, one or the other. You're not building your brand. What is Ryan Serhant? I heard he had like a new acronym that he came out with. Everyone knows who Ryan Serhant is in here, right? ABB, always be branding. That's his. That was his acronym that I recently saw him talk about in one of his videos. And that's what you're doing here. You're building yourself a massive brand of people who are basically they're your people. They're your group. When they think of real estate, they think of that guy they watch every day on TikTok or Instagram and who has all the good advice for them. You're that guy. You're the real estate guy that they think about, right? Or the real estate girl, whatever the case is. The other problem with these other methods is the prospecting stops as soon as you do. Once you stop knocking on doors, once you stop cold calling, once you stop putting money into Facebook and buying leads, where are the leads going to come from? That's it. They're done. They're going to stop. You got to trade your time for these leads or your money for these leads. These prospects don't know who you are, and these are all, in my opinion, archaic methods of lead generation that existed before we had more modern tools like social media, right? So at the end of the day, what we want to do is we want to go where our audience is. Who's our target audience? Who's our ideal client? What's their ideal situation? Do we want luxury listings, luxury buyers? Do we want to work with downsizers, upsizers, whatever the case is? Where are those people spending their time? A lot of them are spending, I would probably venture that almost all of them have some form of social media, whether it's TikTok, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, whatever the case is. All the content we create can be repurposed on all of those platforms. And that's why we want to spend our time putting our content out and building our brand where people are already spending their time. We're not creating a new thing. We're not creating a new platform and trying to get people to come onto it and saying, hey, check me out over here, check me out on this website. We're going where they're already spending their time, which is, in my opinion, the most important thing. Just in terms of audience sizes, 1.6 billion active users, that's TikTok, and Instagram, 1.2 billion monthly active users. So between those two platforms, just those two platforms alone, we've got 3.6 billion different sets of eyeballs to market to. So really, it's a marketer's dream if you can use these platforms correctly. So what can it do for me? A couple things here. I'm not going to really spend too much time talking about this slide because we've already kind of gone over all of these different things in the prior slides. But what I really want to hammer home here is that these are not forced leads. These are not people that you're forcing to contact you. Oh, look at this picture of this house. You want to buy this house? Then put your information in here. They don't know who you are. They're the ones reaching out to you. It's a warm lead. It's an organic lead. It's very different from a paid lead or something that you've paid to a lead that you've paid to acquire their information, essentially. So let me give you an example of a video that I posted that I actually sold 3 transactions. Like, this is when I actually first started on TikTok. So this was back in 2021. When was this? Back in April of 2021, just over 2 years ago. I was brand new on TikTok, and I posted this video. It was 30 seconds long. I provided basically just valuable home buying tips in this kind of a little bit of a creative video in terms of how I presented it, but it was just very basic home buying information or tips on what not to do when you're looking for your dream house. That's basically what this video was about. And it was 30 seconds long, ended up getting 1.2 million views, 150,000 likes, countless leads. I closed 3 transactions and 50,000 in GCI just from this one video, and still more leads still come in from this video to this day. And I don't work with them anymore. I pass off all the leads to my team, or most of them at least. But yeah, this was really the video that was the catalyst that showed me, wow, there's a gold mine here, and almost nobody is really tapping into it. And the people who are trying to tap into it are not doing it correctly. So I was really just determined to kind of keep pushing it forward and doing it in a way that not everyone, just basically creating a strategy that was repeatable and that I could follow over and over and over again to keep getting more leads and more business out of this, right? Here's another video. So this is a video that I just posted, maybe, when was that? A month and a half ago? So it took me about 45 minutes to make this, including the editing, because now my videos, I don't do any professional editing, nothing. I literally, as I said, I hold my phone up to my face and I just have my message and I present it, and that's it. It's an 82-second long video. It has, as of right now, 3,275 hours of free watch time that I did not spend a single dollar for, 25,000 likes, 446,000 views. This video just continually brings in leads even as I sleep. It prospects all the time for me. No paid ads. They're real organic leads. How much, when I think about it, how much is this worth? What is the dollar value of the advertising that I've done here? So if you look it up, basically the industry norm is it's going to cost you about $20 per 1,000 impressions that you get. So at 446,000 views, it's actually a little bit higher now, but at 440, I think it might be over 500,000 now. But at the time of this slide deck, 446,000 views, at $20 per 1,000 impressions, that means this video is worth nearly $9,000 in advertising that I spent $0 on and took me 45 minutes to make. Where else are you going to get that ROI in real estate advertising? I don't know where else you could possibly get that. Hold on a sec here. So is it predictable? So I obviously, as I've kind of mentioned earlier, I have formed a strategy to make my videos consistent, predictable, bringing in leads for me consistently, post after post after post. If we take a look at some of the views on my videos, here's a snapshot from my profile, 200 and whatever thousand, 400 and whatever thousand, 300 and whatever thousand, every single video I post gets almost without a doubt 6 figures in terms of views. So this is a strategy. It's not about luck. It's not about posting all the time. There's plenty of people who, cut up videos, they keep reposting them, and they get, 100 views here, 100 views there. It's about using the correct strategy, and if you use the correct strategy, you can keep replicating this success over and over and over again on every single video, basically with like the same way that I've done it on my profile right here. So strategy, obviously we want to create specific content the viewer's already searching for, so this is important. We want to create video on topics that people are already wanting to see. We have a formula, or I have a formula that I've created to make all my videos successful. We're going to create a specific mix of video types, leverage the algorithm in the platform, so Instagram, TikTok, make sure that when we make our videos, they're going to be leveraging how those algorithms interact in order to get or extract the most views possible. We're going to do a little bit of topic research, making sure that what we're talking about fits in with the type of client that we're looking for and is the specific type of content that client wants to hear about. We're going to scale and leverage, and as I said, it's not about luck. There's literally a strategy to this. If you keep repeating it video after video after video, you are going to be getting the results. That's just the way that it is, right? Couple different types of videos that I post about. There's obviously the value-based ones where you're giving the consumer valuable real estate information. Trending, where you're talking about trending topics. You could be using a trending sound, trending things that happen in the real estate industry. I post quite a few of those. A lot of people like posting the real estate and property tour type videos as well. I do here and there. When I was newer on the platform, I would post those a lot more. Now I kind of, I don't really post those as much anymore, but those are also great videos for building your property showcase and basically showcasing the types of properties that you work, that you represent, and just showing kind of, building almost like a digital profile of what your business is about and what you do, right? News-related videos and as well as stories. Stories are great stories work great on this platform as well in terms of tell a story about, what was your most successful XYZ or least successful XYZ, right? There's a bunch of different hooks and a bunch of different topic ideas that I can share with you guys. So targeting, so how do we find our exact target or ideal client on these platforms, right? Content strategy, posting strategy, topic research. Basically, the most important thing I can share with you guys out of this is we want to be making videos and making content that people already want to see. So with doing our content and topic research, we're going to be able to already know what our audience wants. So we're making videos about things that people already want to see. We're just not just making things up out of thin air and just hoping that somebody wants to watch it, wants to interact with it, whatever the case is. We're making content based on what people already want. So that's why almost every single time you post, you're going to be successful. Hashtags, these must be used correctly or they will be actually harmful for your video. And if you guys have any questions about that, happy to answer. So what makes a video successful? I'm just going to kind of wrap it up here for you guys. It's got to be short and valuable, 30 to 90 seconds. That's kind of the sweet spot. A lot of the videos that I post are around 60, 70 seconds. I find that's like a really sweet spot for my videos, and almost every single time I post stuff like that, I almost always get 6 figures in terms of views. Captures attention quickly. A couple of different methods to do that, such as creating a killer hook or create killer intro to your video. But that's just the intro. If you don't follow up with the if you don't have the substance to follow up with that, then you're going to lose people right after the hook, right? So there's we need to use this strategic formula in order to make sure that every single video that we're putting out is following the same formula, and that it's going to be successful every single time you post. Does not need to be professional. So again, guys, I use my phone, a cell phone. I don't even use an external microphone. I don't use this. I don't use professional lighting. I literally just use my cell phone to make videos, and that's it. And people think there's some magic sauce. Oh, you must be using a special camera or special this. Like, I can guarantee you, the audience, whoever's watching your video, does not care about what camera, what microphone, what lighting. They don't care about any of that, what's being filmed. All they care about is what is in your video, and is it what they want to watch. They don't care if it's cinematically produced or not. That would not guarantee any sort of success. So Tom, then to get started, I spent a lot of time researching the platform, obviously. I've hired agencies for me. I've spent, $4,000 a month on, I think, one agency to kind of help me with my videos. And at the end of the day, it really came down to, like, if I just post with this specific strategy that I'm posting with, then I'm going to be successful. Nobody else is going to, no matter how much you spend or how many agencies or whatever you hire, it's up to you. If you have the right strategy and you're posting the right type of stuff, you're going to get the right type of eyeballs on it. And for some people, different things may work, but this is kind of what's worked for me, right? So what short form video did to me, obviously I started a team. I've talked about that a little bit before. I have so many leads that I have an abundance of leads that it's just impossible to keep up with them. Like, if I had to keep up with all the leads that I get from social media, like I wouldn't be able to sleep. I would just be all night just like replying, and like it would be totally unsustainable. So you pretty much, once you kind of hit it off right with doing this type of stuff, like you're gonna be so busy, like you're gonna have so many leads and so much abundance that you're not even gonna know what to do with it. And that's basically the point that I got burnt out. I was like, oh my gosh, like I can't keep up with this. This is ridiculous, right? That's really the point that and I still do hit that a little bit sometimes, and that's why I'm focused on growing my team even further at this point. Turned me kind of into a local celebrity. When I'm walking around Toronto, a lot of times people recognize me. Like they'll come up to me and they'll be like, "Oh, hey, are you the guy from this and I'll just make connections like out in public of people recognize me, right? So it's pretty cool that it kind of gives you that like mini like local celebrity effect of being known as that realtor, or oh, hey, you're the realtor. Like people just think of like. Think about it. When I say think of a soft drink, you're gonna say Coke or Pepsi, right? You're not gonna think of all the other ones. You may not have all the other ones in your head. Consumers usually only remember like one or two things out of every. Or when I say sports, when I say like running shoes, you're gonna say Nike, right? It's cool that when someone says like real estate in Toronto, like your name is, to a lot of people, your name is the name that comes up, which is so powerful for your business. So 100% of my business now comes to me. All the leads that I have are all warm. They're excited to see me. They're excited to contact me. I don't negotiate commissions. I don't give them kickbacks. Even if they ask, I say no, and then they still want to work with me anyways. Like that's how powerful it is to be building your brand and building this social digital profile. So I don't have anything to sell you here today, but it's going to start showing your real estate video to people who interact with that hashtag of funny cat videos or cat owners, right? And as soon as they see it, they're going to scroll by it because it's not what they're looking to see, right? And what's going to happen is the algorithm's going to see that people with that hashtag that you have posted are not interacting with your video. So what I like to say is to choose less hashtags. Like instead of filling up your whole video with hashtags, limit your hashtags and make sure they are very relevant to your video, as opposed to just posting more hashtags, hoping that more people will see it just because you posted more hashtags in the video. So hopefully that kind of answers your question. Yeah. Any other questions? In the back here, I'm gonna give you the microphone just so everybody can hear you.
There was a part you had in there that said you want to get what your prospects are looking for.
Yes.
They're looking for something. How do you find what that something is?
Okay, so his question is basically how, like, well, obviously they want to buy or sell real estate, right? Like, so, what do you can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, like, I'm basically asking. A lot of per se clients are looking. You were saying in your presentation that they're looking for something, right?
Right.
And you want to create a video that's gonna add value.
Right.
That way. Where do you find that?
Okay, so basically where you find what clients are looking for is you do what I call topic research, right? And what I mean by topic research is researching like there's several different websites, several different areas that you guys can go to, which will actually, if you type in a keyword, will show you what people want to know in relation to that keyword. So let's just say, one just really quick example off the top of my head, answerthepublic.com. That's a website where basically you can type in a keyword such as real estate investing. And if you type in real estate investing, it'll show you what people are already searching for in terms of real estate investing. Like the answer to that may be like how to invest in your first rental property, or what to look for when buying your first rental property, or 3 red flags when finding a tenant. Whatever the case is, whatever people are searching for, you can take, like that's just one method, but that's just a quick example of how you can take a concept and actually find out what people are looking for before you make the video on that concept. So you know that people are already looking for that before you make it.
What was that site?
Answerthepublic.com. That's just one example. Good. Any other questions? Am I running out of time here?
Yeah.
I'm getting kicked off the stage. Yeah. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm hoping everybody learned something from that. I thought that was super cool. One of the big things, what was it? Shoot, he said, yeah, there's agents getting on, like you're going to get on there and you're going to go, yeah, but there's lots of agents doing it now and whatever. That's going to be 100 times in a few years. So you want to be ahead of the game. Video is just going to keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So in my humble opinion, I think the time is now, and start to do it right now. The other thing that Christian had mentioned was they're doing it wrong. So if you follow the methodology, it's a big word. If you follow the methodology of these guys and how they do it and the analytics, it's not that tough. It sounds like it's tough. It's really not that tough. And then you will 100% grow. It's not going to happen overnight. Hey guys, thanks for watching Passive Prospecting with TikTok. If you enjoyed this, I'd be super, super grateful if you could like and subscribe. Help me on my journey off to 1,000 real estate subscribers. And also, listen, don't forget, check out Passive Prospecting with YouTube. You're going to love this if you like TikTok, and we'll see you in the next one. Over and out.